everyone. My name is Pavel. I've been in InfoSec since 2022. I've gone away from being an information system engineer, and now I'm Deputy Director General on Digital Transformation and InfoSec. Now I'm an analyst in the cybersecurity or cyber intelligence in the JET Infosystems. So today we'll talk about some statistics and consider cases and how we can analyze our contractors. Since we have here business representatives, so please raise your hands if you have tested or checked your contractors. Okay, we have some hands. That's great. Well, cyber-intelligence now is part and parcel of cybersecurity of our companies. We have run some research showing that 76% of companies today have in the external segment software with critical vulnerabilities. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. And these vulnerabilities have public exploits. And now we can see that successful attacks through contractors have been growing by 30%. So why? Why cyber intelligence? All the data, 99% of authentication data, is stored in the darknet, Telegram, and GitHub repositories. So we'll talk about this later. Okay, what does it mean? It means that now we have enough companies, so many companies, which don't pay enough attention not only to their company, but also to the contractors they deal with. And in our company, we have a huge roadmap. We will not kind of discuss today, but we will rather pay attention to this. This is related to cyber intelligence. So we'll talk about some basics of what you have to do when you deal with your contractors.
Назад слайд, без проблем.
Okay, one slide back.
Пожалуйста.
Sure, no problem.
Все, вы готовы?
Are you ready?
Итак, да.
Okay.
На самом деле базовые тривиальные
методы,
прорабатывать со своими подрядчиками. То есть это
101 methods,
поиск информации в открытых источниках,
looking for the information in the open source, social media, fora, news websites, should analyze the phishing website to avoid targeted attacks.
То есть для того, чтобы обнаружить фишинговый сайт, достаточно использовать простые
phishing site can be used through Euroscan, DNS Twist, and other straightforward software. You should monitor your contractors in the darknet. And talking about technical analysis, you should scan the contractor's infrastructure without his or her participation, so without interacting with the host. You can use Shutdown, FOFA, and Hunter. And you should also analyze the DNS records and subdomains so that you can see the whole picture. 99% of data. So we're talking about monitoring public repositories like GitHub and GitLab. Maybe they have some code from your contractor published. Maybe they have provided some services to you. This might include personal data or information on access to your infrastructure or whatever. We should also look at the obsolete protocols, whether they're used, so that you avoid breaches. We can also analyze the staff of our contractor to see whether they have taken part in some negative fora. So what is continuous monitoring? We are talking about continuous information gathering on the changes in the contractor's infrastructure, and we should keep track of the contractor to make sure whether they are in line with InfoSec requirements. So these methods should be combined to avoid some negative consequences. Okay, overall, this kind of combination let us start discussing the next thing. So cases of 2024 to 2025. We had quite a lot of cases within this time, so we'll be brief because it's a fast track. In December 2024, a big transportation company in Russia
для анализа
came to us
своего подрядчика.
to have their
И
contractor
что мы делали? Да?
analyzed.
Мы изучили вот
So we
по
looked,
аналогии, да, с предыдущими слайдами.
just like
Изучили
the
подрядчика,
previous slide, we
посмотрели
looked into the contractor,
доки, посмотрели
looked at the
Telegram и прочее,
darknet,
и решили
Telegram,
провести проверку
darknet, and so on. And
закупленного
we
программного
tried to
обеспечения
see
этого подрядчика,
what
этой
kind of
компании.
software they
И
procured.
мы его обнаружили
We found it,
и решили провести
and
непосредственно
we
поиск
tried
через Hunter House. Здесь вот
to go through the
есть
Hunter
некая маска,
house.
веб-тайтл
So there is a
называется.
mask called
Ввели
web title.
информацию о
We
программном
introduced
обеспечении,
information on the
начали
software,
поиск, нашли
started
программное обеспечение и
the search, found
выявили
this software,
совершенно
and
другую
we
компанию,
found a
которая не
different
принадлежала
company
данному
which
кейсу,
didn't belong to
нашему
this case
заказчику,
or to our
но у этой
customer,
компании на
but
внешнем сегменте было
the
программное
external segment
обеспечение,
had
связанное
the
с
software
видеонаблюдением,
related
с
to video
дефолтными паролями,
surveillance with the
root.
default creds,
Что мы
root
сделали?
root. So what did we do?
Мы дальше начали раскручивать
We
эту
started
цепочку и увидели на том же
following
хосте
this chain, and
систему
on the same
1С,
host we saw the
которая
1S system,
была с
1C
небезопасным
system,
дизайном.
which didn't have a safe design.
Имела учетные записи
It had some credentials,
без паролей некоторые были, некоторые были
sometimes
с
without passwords,
слабыми паролями.
sometimes with
И
weak
в
passwords.
этой же базе данных в
In the
1С
same
мы
database, in the
обнаружили
1C database,
сюрприз, так
we
называемый,
found
да, то есть
a
мы обнаружили вообще
surprise.
стороннего
We
нашего
found a
заказчика
third-party
и его
customer
данные от
and
маркетплейсов и
their
банк
data
клиентов. На самом деле там
from the
большой пул был. То есть
marketplaces
сначала
and
я говорил
the
про
bank of
транспортную
clients.
компанию,
So
но в
we
итоге мы
started
перешли к
with
тому,
an
что
transportation
нашли
company, but then we
креdenции
found the
нашей,
credentials
нашего
of
другого заказчика.
a different
Это
customer.
говорит о том, что
Well, this
требуется
means that
также по маскам
you should
веб-тайтл
use the web
проверять
title
своих
masks
подрядчиков.
to
Итак, что касательно кейса номер 2,
check your
октябрь 2024 года.
contractors. The second case, October 2024,
сеть
a big
Darknet.
vendor, the darknet
Получается,
network.
проводили стандартную
Okay, we
работу
had the
по
standard
поиску
approach. We were
упоминаний
looking
наших заказчиков
for
через Darknet и
mentionings of
выявили
our customers in the
продажу базы
darknet,
данных
and we saw the sale of a database
активистов. То есть их активисты заявляли, что
by so-called activists.
взлом касался
So they said
GitHub,
that the
GitLab проектов, тикетов
breach
жира,
was
которые
related to the
API-ключи,
GitHub, GitLab,
SSH-ключи,
so they
прочая
have
конфиденциальная
SSH
информация.
keys
О чем это говорит?
and so on.
Нами были
So what
приняты
does it mean?
решения по предоставлению
So
рекомендаций нашему
we
заказчику.
decided to provide recommendations to the customer because we saw the contractor.
Компания Cisco.
So this is the Cisco
Мы
company.
предоставили информацию
So we
нашему
provided
заказчику
information to the customer, and we said that it was necessary to disconnect the VPN they didn't need, or to
включить мультифакторную
add multi-factor authentication, and to analyze all the network traffic for negative consequences. Well, this means that even a big vendor might be problematic.
Здесь Cisco был в качестве подрядчика.
So here the Cisco was
Что
a contractor.
касательно централизованной аутентификации.
Let's look at the centralized authentication. 2025, a company wanted us to analyze the attack landscape, and so this was the standard template audit. And we tried to go deeper, and we looked at the service of tender procedures, and surprisingly, the contractor who was supporting this company provided centralized access to other information systems. So we just registered in the tender procedures. We didn't need any verification. Nobody called us. Nobody sent us an email. So we could easily get into this information system. And this centralized authentication let us log into another information system. So they revealed the data of more than 10,000 employees.
которые имели, то есть мы имели возможность
So
видеть
we could see the emails, phone numbers,
имена и отчества
full names.
сотрудников. И о чем это говорит? Да? Это говорит о том, что важно
It means that it's important
подобных
to
действий.
check your contractor against these types of activities.
Коротко, да? История одного RDP. Все
Okay,
слышали, все
one
говорят,
RDP.
3389.
Okay, 3389. Well, this is like a buzzword now.
На самом деле,
Well, let me briefly mention this.
Ситуация в следующем. Как только к вам приходит
As
какая-то
soon
подрядная
as
организация,
a contractor
это
comes to you,
важно оценить
it's
исторические данные
important
этой
to assess
организации.
the
Важно
historic data
изучить исторические
of this
данные вашего
organization,
подрядчика.
of
Почему?
this
Да,
contractor.
важно. Если
Why?
на скрин посмотреть,
If
здесь
you look at
видно
the screen,
прошлая неделя,
you can see
прошлый
last
месяц,
week, last
прошлый год
month,
и количество
last
портов.
year,
Это
and the number of ports.
глобально, да, глобальные цифры, но можно также
These are
своего
some
подрядчика
global
оценить.
numbers,
Почему важно?
so you can
Потому
use the
что
same to
могло
assess your
произойти
contractor. Why is it
закрепление
important? Because
злоумышленника
maybe
когда-то давно, и,
they
соответственно, как
got
только вы
the
заключаете
wrongdoers,
контракт с
they
новым
got there some long time ago,
заказчиком,
and when you sign a
соответственно,
new
мы
contract
не
with
знаем,
a
да, и вы не знаете,
contractor,
насколько это будет,
we don't know
насколько давно произошел взлом, и, соответственно,
how long
произошел он
ago
вообще.
the breach took place, or did
Но,
it
тем
take
не менее,
place at
исторические
all.
данные нам помогут
But
понимать,
this historical
насколько
data will let
наш
us see
новый подрядчик
whether the
будет
new contractor
исполнять, будет в зоне информационной безопасности.
is going to be
Коротко, да, что
in
в
the
итоге
field of InfoSec.
делаем с
Okay,
нашими
the results.
подрядчиками.
What do we do with our
Базовые методы, то
contractors?
есть,
So we
на
go
самом
through
деле,
some
они должны
straightforward
глубоко расшириться
methods,
с вашей
and they
стороны, то
should
есть
be
вы должны
expanded
сами
on
понимать
your
и
side.
предпринимать
You should well
определенные действия,
understand what to
но
do.
первостепенно
But
подписание
number
договора
one,
о
you should
неразглашении
sign
с
the
нашими подрядчиками,
NDA
субподрядчиками,
with the contractor and
фрилансерами в том
subcontractor,
числе,
including freelancers,
RDP,
the
SSH,
RDP, SSH, VNC. So we either switch them off, or if we need them, then they should be protected by some multi-factor authentication. We should monitor darknet. Well, talking about Cisco, we should monitor our contractor in the darknet, Telegram, activist channels, and GitHub repositories. So these are just kind of 101 methods. We should turn off the centralized access to avoid the personal data leakage. You remember the tender procedures and booking workstations. Okay, access rights only provided for a given task and then turned off. Thank you very much for your attention and have a good day.